Here's again, tragically hilarious segment here. This was on the Tucker Carlson show last night. In case you think there are any redeeming characters to racist critical racism theory, teaching your kids to be racist all the time. Can't say that enough, folks, because it's true. The people behind it are mental morons. They can't even describe what racism is themselves. You doubt me? Here is, was this Henry Rogers? Is that his name? Goes by Ibram Kendi now. Here is one of the big proponents of critical racism theory, teaching your kids to be racist. Tucker Carlson played this last night. This is one of the guys pushing this. Probably, so I don't know how many copies of his book he sold on this. I didn't even mention the title because it's not even worth mentioning. But he's at this conference, and this, genius with air quotes is asked what racism is. I mean, we're only being having this book rammed down our throats all across America. You'd think he'd have a general idea about what he's talking about. Listen to this answer. And as Justin, as intern Justin said this morning, which was really great, when you're giving the definition of a term, you don't typically include the term in the definition. When you're asked to describe like what is a gavel, you don't put definition, a gavel-like object, right? When you're asked to describe, what is a coaster, from our friends We the People here, you don't say it's an object that looks like a coaster, correct? You describe what it is, right? Square object made of a thin fabric, possibly leather, used to shield a table against a wet or hot cup, whatever container, whatever it may be. You don't typically watch Ibram X. Kendi. Watch him try to explain what racism is by just using the term racism over. Racism is a racist thing that does racist stuff and leads to racist stuff because it's racist. And you're like, even the people in the crowd are like, laughing uncomfortably, like, is that real? Are we really paying this guy a bunch of money for this? Check this out.
During the question and answer session, one of them dared to ask the most basic question of all. How are we defining racism? How do you define it? Now, you'd think Ibram X. Kendi would be ready for that question, but he wasn't. Here's what he said.
You talked about the importance of defining racism, but I unless I missed it, which is possible, I didn't hear your personal definition. Is there one that you would offer us? Like, how do you define racism?
Sure. So racism, I would define it as a collection of racist policies that lead to racial inequity that are substantiated by racist ideas. Sure. A collection of racist policies that lead to racial inequity that are substantiated by racist ideas.
So racism is racist stuff. Or as Kendi puts it, and we're quoting now, it's a collection of racist policies that lead to racial inequity that are substantiated by racist ideas, end quote. Right.
Dude, come on. Keep going. No, keep it. One more. This is at least, this is the first quadruple monthly. One more.
For the record.
Yes. We have not done a quadruple monthly in 6 months at least. I think there have only been 3 in the history of the Dan Bongino Show program. That is a minimum. That may have even been a 5-star monthly right there. That is it's hilarious. Notice how, as Justin rightly said, all he can do is use the term in the definition because he doesn't know what it is. Racism is racist stuff that leads to racist outcomes, does racist stuff, and promoted by people who are racist, say racist stuff, do racist things. It leads to racist stuff. And everybody did you hear the laughter they're like, they're laughing uncomfortably because I guarantee you people in the audience are like, holy, did we just pay this guy for that? He could literally have gone to like Merriam-Webster.com and read something. Hold on. We're going to do this on you. Let me give you right now, Ibram Kendi, Henry Rogers, definition. Let's go this. Let's just put this in a search engine. Definition. We're doing this on the air to show him how easy this is. Definition of racism. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. Pretty fair, right? Pretty fair definition, no?
Yeah.
No, he couldn't even think of that. Ibram Kendi, whip out your phone. Whip it out. Just put it in the search engine. You're a lefty. You probably use Google. Just Google it. How hard is this? It's racist stuff, but racist people do racist things. This, even Tucker's like laughing at this guy. Like, is this a joke? These are the people who are teaching your kids? So a Marxist group associated with this Zinn project is paying a bunch of money for school teachers paid by your tax dollars to teach your kids how to be racist. And they're asking them to read a book by a guy who doesn't even know what racism is and didn't even think to put it in he's a lefty, a Google search on his phone before the thing started. Can you imagine for a moment being like a mathematics professor, right? Going up to give a lecture. You're this noted MIT math professor. They pay you $500,000 for a speech in front of the World Mathematics Bureau. There's no such thing, but if there was, they'd probably pay that. And you get up there, and the first question is, sir, I'm new to this. Can you explain what a differential equation is? It's a differentially thing that looks like an equation that talks about equations that are differential, and differential people aren't differential to differential equations. You'd be like, what? What? Can you come again with that? This is who we're paying. This is who we're paying. Our military's reading this guy about racist stuff. Oh. No, he didn't. What did you just say? Is that true? Guy says he wrote 8 books on racism. Can you imagine this? Here, hold on. Hey, Justin, come over here a second. Grab me that Spygate book, please, for a second. You want to meet producer Jay? Here, come on camera. Wave hello to the audience. Give him a look. You're tall, so come down. See, he exists. I'm not making these people up. All right, there's Justin, all right? So I wrote some books too. So Guy says Ibram Kendi, who doesn't know, who thinks racism is racist stuff, right? Ibram Kendi wrote 8 books. I wrote, I don't know, 3, 4, who the hell knows? But I wrote a book called Spygate. So, okay, if you want me to come speak, right? I don't do a lot of public speaking, but I will come speak on Spygate. So imagine I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'd like to give a lecture today in my book, Spygate. I really enjoy this book. And then someone raised their hand, hey, Dan, what's Spygate? And I'm like, hold on a sec. And I'm like this, feverishly going through the book. What the Spygate? Sir, can I get back to you on that? Dude, you're here for a lecture on Spygate. What the hell is Spygate? Can you imagine? But when you're a lefty, this stuff just put it in a search engine. What is Spygate? Well, it's a series of agencies that I think were corrupted that spied on President and then candidate Donald Trump. Okay, thank you. Now we can move on and we can get to Spygate, the book. Holy Moses, are we living in peak stupid? My gosh. This is the United States we live in. Your tax dollars are paying to get racist trading from a guy who thinks racist stuff is racism.